Hey G fans, GojiFan93 here, and welcome to the first part of the October Kaiju thon. The first video that we are going to be reviewing is Varan, the Unbelievable. I also think there's another title called Varan the Invincible, although I could be wrong there. I'm not sure, maybe I'm thinking of Gamera the Invincible, but whatever. So yes, this is the first movie that we are going to take a look at. This is actually the first time I've ever seen this movie, and you know, a little bit of backstory with me and Varan. He's not really a monster that I've really connected to or that I really like. He's always just kind of been like the obscure monster that I've seen in like a split second in Destroy All Monsters, and it was just kind of like, okay, there he is. And obviously he was a playable character in Godzilla Unleashed, so I haven't really had a lot of experience with the monster. It's a cool design, but I'm not really like a fan of this character. But I thought it would be really cool to finally check out this movie to see where he started from. And well, to say the least, the movie's it's a bit underwhelming. Now, this movie came out, I think it was definitely in the 50s. I can't remember, I should probably know this, but I can't remember the exact date. But I know it was right after, you know, hot off the trails of Godzilla, along with Rodan, because I know Rodan was 1956. But Varan was this movie was also in black and white. And the version I saw was I believe it was the American version. So I'm basically basing all my opinions from this movie from watching the American cut. Now, I bet that there was a bunch of stuff that I missed because I didn't see the Japanese version, but the only thing I could get my hands on was this version that I found on Dailymotion, because apparently this movie is so old and also not really that popular that it is actually a free domain, public domain movie. So I guess I don't know, but so anyways, also in the corner you're seeing some trailer footage so you can get an idea of how this movie looks. So where do I start? Well, first off, the movie starts off really abrupt. Like, it just, like, right when I hit the play button, it just, all of a sudden all these people are running, and I like have no clue what's going on, no context to what's happening, and it just starts. All these people are running away. You're obviously saying, okay, well, they're probably running away from Varan, and you would be right, they are. But then I guess it's kind of like they do a flashback or whatever. You have the title screen, then they go to the flashback, and basically the story is about this U.S. scientist general guy or whatever who is married to this really gorgeous looking Japanese wife. This character was pretty good. And they go to do these experiments on this island, but there's a village that inhabits this island, but what they're having to do is they're having to move these villagers into a new location so that they can conduct their experiments. That's the problem though, because the villagers don't like it. They're getting bad press in Japan because they're saying this guy is a tyrant for making all the villagers leave their home and all that. So he gets a lot of pressure from there, and basically the villagers believe that their monster, which is Varan, I forgot the name that they called him in the Boris, something like that. I can't remember if they called it, because they had another name for him, but we know it's Varan. He's underwater, in the ground, you know, whatever. He's sleeping pretty much, and so what the experiments end up doing is obviously waking him up. Great, you know, of course, we have another humans messing with nature. We bring out a beast, basically. But what's funny is, like, what happens though is, like, halfway through the movie, the general guy's like, okay, well, how about this? Because we're getting bad press, let's keep the villagers there, and we'll just cut them off from their water supply because we need this lake so we can conduct experiments. And it's like, really? It's like, what? That's even worse if I think about it, you know? It's like, now you're keeping them there, but you're cutting off their water supply. Good job. But anyways, so, you know, the story, chaos ensues, the monster gets woken up, and the military tries to fight him off. It's not really that interesting. It's nothing really new, especially for the time, because this is pretty much what every monster movie was doing. But I thought it would be a bit different because it was Toho, because it was, like, I didn't think that they would try to rehash Godzilla so much, but it really is. I mean, these older movies, like after Godzilla, the 1954 film, there are so many, like Gamera and Varan, they do the same thing, and it's like, all right, let's try something new, which is why I'm excited for the next movie we're going to be, I think is Mothra, that I'm going to be checking out, and also after that, Rodan. So I think those ones will be a little bit different, because I actually did watch those movies when I was super little. But one thing that I wanted to also talk about was, at the beginning of the movie, it had a really, there was a theme that was playing in the background that was, it was from, I think it's Rodan's theme, or also if you guys watch Godzilla 2000, at the end credit scene when he starts blowing up the city, that music that starts to play at that point, that was actually in this movie, so that was really cool. I was expecting a really cool soundtrack, but I think, once again, because I was watching the American version, I didn't get the awesome Akira Fukube music, but I bet the Japanese version has a really good soundtrack, and I've heard really good things about the Varan soundtrack, so I'm not really going to take anything away from the movie because of that. Also, there was this really funny scene where a soldier is just like, he sees Varan coming towards him and he's like shooting, and then what ends up happening, he walks backwards so much that he ends up falling off a cliff, and I just laughed. I don't know why, I thought that was hilarious, but whatever. So yeah, Varan, you know, it's kind of bleh, meh. You know, that's really my rating for it. Is it's just a meh. It didn't really interest me that much. Varan looks cool in it, but it just, with the black and white and also the poor quality that I watched it at, I didn't really get a good look. Like there wasn't a good crystal image of him, so it's like I really just have to rely on, you know, watching like the trailers or looking at like figures of him or whatever to get a good idea of what he looks like. So ultimately, would I recommend this movie? You can pass on it but if you're a diehard Varan fan, you know, you've probably already seen it by now, but it's just math. It's not bad, but it's nothing really groundbreaking. So I actually enjoyed the first Gamera film more than I did this one. So, but that just puts it in perspective. So yeah, that's it for this first review, guys. Stay tuned for a lot more. We got 9 more movies to review, so this will be a really fun month for movie reviews because I really don't have anything else planned. So, but that's it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and stay big, G fans.